Okay, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to break down a really cool framework called the 9 legs of discussion. Think of it as a toolkit for making our online conversations way better, deeper, more interesting, and honestly, a lot less frustrating.
But first, we need to take a quick trip to a place I'm sure we've all visited, the online conversation graveyard. You know, it's where really great ideas just seem to go to die.
You know that feeling, right? There's a fascinating topic, a couple of really insightful comments get posted, the energy is building, and then, poof, nothing. Just crickets. A super promising exchange just withers away. Why on earth does this happen all the time?
Well, a lot of the time, it comes down to these guys right here. These are the conversation stoppers. Now, they're not mean, they're not negative, but they are total dead ends. They're like a period at the end of a sentence when what you really need is an open door to the next idea.
So, if that's the problem, what's the solution? It's actually a pretty simple shift in our mindset. It's about moving from just replying to actively adding value.
This one sentence, this is the core principle of the whole thing. Every time you're about to hit that reply button, the goal is to ask yourself, is this adding something new? A new piece of evidence? A new perspective? A new direction? Am I actually adding value?
See, the key here is that we want to be contributors, not just commenters. We want to be the person who hands the conversational baton to the next person, not the one who drops it on the floor. And that is exactly what this 9 legs framework helps us do. So let's look at some of the most powerful legs in this whole toolkit.
All right, let's start with the basics. Level 1. Think of these as the absolute foundation of any discussion. You need them, for sure, but on their own, they're usually not enough to keep things moving.
So here you've got agreeing and questioning. Agreeing is great. It builds community, makes people feel heard, and questioning is how we get clarity. Both are super important, but you can probably see the danger, right? A simple I agree can be a full stop, and a question without any context can just hang there in the air.
So here's a perfect example of an agreeing post. It's positive, it shows they actually read the original comment, but where do you go from here? It confirms the idea, but it doesn't give anyone anything new to grab onto. It's a fine start, but we can definitely do better.
So let's level up. This is level 2. And this is where we start adding some real substance, some fuel to keep that conversational fire going.
Okay, our first level 2 move is enhancing. This is so much more powerful than just agreeing. You're not just saying, I agree. You're saying, I agree, and here's why. You're bringing your own proof, your own experience, your own data to the table to back up what someone else said. And this example just nails it. This person agrees with Alexander's point, but then they enhance it by sharing a personal story. This new little piece of information gives everyone else something new and concrete to talk about. It makes the original point stronger and adds a whole new layer to the discussion.
Next up in level 2 is answering. Now this might sound simple, but a really thoughtful, satisfying answer is like gold in an online discussion. It clears up confusion and lets the conversation move forward on solid ground instead of getting stuck.
Check this out. Someone asks a really great question. Are cowboys born or made? And this response doesn't just give a one-word answer. It offers a thoughtful interpretation, a new way to analyze the character's actions. It answers the question, yeah, but it also makes the whole conversation deeper.
Okay, now we get to level 3. These are the power moves. Seriously, these are the kinds of replies that can take a pretty good discussion and turn it into something truly great, something that sparks brand new insights for everyone involved.
First up is building. Now, building is different from enhancing. With enhancing, you're supporting the same exact point. With building, you take someone else's point and use it as a springboard to launch into a new but related idea. You're basically constructing something new on the foundation they already built.
This is a perfect example. The person says, yep, I agree, the story was simple, but then they build on it to make a totally new argument, that its simplicity actually made it more believable. They've just pivoted the conversation in a completely fresh direction.
Another master move is weaving. This is where you kind of become the DJ of the discussion. You're connecting the dots between what different people are saying, you spot a hidden link between 2 or more ideas, and you pull those threads together to create a brand new insight that nobody saw on their own.
See how this comment literally mentions other people by name? It's taking an idea from over here, connecting it to what Nancy said over there, and building a new conclusion from that mix. This shows you're not just reading one comment at a time, you're reading the entire conversation. And finally, we have rethinking. And honestly, this might be the highest compliment you can ever pay someone in a conversation. It's when you openly admit that their point was so good, so compelling, that it actually made you change your mind, or at least reconsider your own view. It shows you're there to learn, not just to win.
I mean, how powerful is that? When you acknowledge that someone else opened your eyes, it shows real intellectual humility and a true desire to find the best idea. Posts like this don't just add value, they build incredible amounts of trust and respect in a group. So we've gone through all these levels and legs. What's the big takeaway? How do you actually put this stuff into practice? Well, it's all about building a new kind of instinct. So look, the point is not to have a checklist next to your keyboard trying to label every single post. The real goal is to get so familiar with these options that they become second nature. It's about developing your rhetorical muscle memory. So when you go to reply, you just intuitively reach for a more valuable, more constructive response.
So I'll leave you with a little challenge. The next time you're online and you're about to type LOL or good point, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, can you enhance instead of just agreeing? Can you try to build on their idea? Give it a shot and just see how much it changes the conversation.